Why do some ads make us laugh out loud while others fall completely flat? Think about Old Spices, the man your man could smell like. Absurd, hilarious, unforgettable. Now compare that to Pepsi's infamous Kendall Jenner protest ad, which tried to be lighthearted in the middle of a serious social issue and ended in disaster. Humor in advertising is powerful. It grabs attention. It helps us remember, and it can make brands feel more human. But it's also risky. If the joke overshadows the brand or misses the cultural moment, it backfires. So, why does humor work so well in advertising, and why does it sometimes fail? Hi, I'm Akanksha, and this is The Storyteller's Lens, where we explore the psychology of branding, marketing, and culture. Today, we are breaking down the mechanics of humor in ads, how it works, the science behind why we laugh, when it backfires, and what lessons marketers can take from the most famous examples. Let's start with what humor actually does inside the brain. First, humor is attention grabbing. It disrupts expectations, breaks monotony, and makes an ad instantly stand out in a crowded feed. Neuroscience research shows laughter activates the brain's reward pathways, releasing dopamine, which increases focus and helps us encode the experience in memory. Second, humor enhances recall. When we laugh, the joke becomes an emotional tag. Studies show funny ads are remembered more than serious ones. But there is a caveat. People often remember the joke more clearly than the brand, a problem known as the vampire effect. Third, humor creates positive effect transfer. The good mood it generates transfers onto the brand. This is the affect as information principle. When we feel good, we use that feeling as a shortcut to judge the product more favorably. And finally, humor builds a relational shortcut. Shared laughter is one of the most powerful social bonding mechanisms. When a brand makes you laugh, it feels more relatable, more human, and more culturally in tune. But humor in advertising is not without risk. First, the joke can overshadow the brand. People remember the catchphrase but not the company. Bud Light's WhatsApp campaign became a cultural phenomena, but many viewers remembered the phrase long after they forgot the product. Second, humor is highly cultural. What works in one region may fall flat or even offend in another. Third, humor must fit the brand's personality. Imagine a funeral insurance company making slapstick jokes. The mismatch would undermine trust. Fourth, jokes age quickly. Humor tied to fleeting memes may feel fresh today but irrelevant tomorrow. And finally, humor carries the risk of offense. Edgy humor might get attention, but it can alienate audiences if it crosses sensitive lines of gender, race, or politics. The Kendall Jenner Pepsi ad is the perfect example, trivializing a serious issue in an attempt to be lighthearted. Decades of advertising research confirm that humor increases attention and recall, but its effect on persuasion is mixed. Meta analysis by Eisen, Zhang, and Zenkhan show that humor works best when it is congruent with the brand. Neuroscience studies using fMRI scans show humor activate memory regions, but the link to the brand only sticks if the joke and the product are tightly connected. Consumer surveys consistently place funny ads at the top of likability rankings, and they are among the most shared online. So the evidence is clear. Humor works, but only when it is aligned. Let's look at some real world examples. Old Spice, the man your man could smell like. 2010. Absurdist humor delivered with complete confidence and crucially tied to the product benefit. Sales doubled and the brand became a cultural phenomena. Dollar Shave Club 2012 deadpan irreverent launch video that went viral, generating 12,000 orders in 48 hours. Within a few years, the company was acquired by Unilever for $1 billion. Humor here was a challenger brand weapon. The next is Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. This campaign turned the universal experience of crankiness into a decade long global platform. The humor was relatable, product driven, and enduring. Pepsi, Kendall Jenner protest ad 2017, a failure. Attempting humor in the context of social protest trivialized a serious issue. The backlash was immediate, and the ad was pulled within 24 hours. Geico Insurance, perhaps the most consistent example of humor in a dull category. Absurd mascots and skits made insurance memorable, while reinforcing a simple, sticky line: 15 minutes could save you 15%. So, what can marketers learn from these examples? First, start with brand fit. Define your humor style: witty, quirky, absurd, self deprecating, but ensure it matches your brand's positioning. Second, tie the joke to a product truth. If the joke works without the brand, you risk the vampire effect. Snickers succeeded because the humor was inseparable from the product benefit. Third, keep humor short and repeatable. Catchphrases, memes, and one liners that can live beyond the ad have cultural staying power. Fourth, test cultural resonance. Pre test across segments and regions because humor rarely globalizes seamlessly. And finally, balance humor with clarity. The logo, the CTA, and the product association must remain front and center. Of course, every strategy comes with risks. The main risks with humor are: the joke overshadows the brand, it offends or alienates audiences, or it becomes stale. Mitigation comes from integration and testing. Make the product part of the punchline. Steer clear of sensitive topics. Refresh the creative execution while keeping a consistent humor platform. Use sentiment analysis to monitor offense risk, and ultimately track sales lift, because likability alone is not enough. So, why does humor in advertising work? Because it captures attention, enhances memory, transfer positive emotion, and humanizes brands. But why does it fail? Because when the humor is irrelevant, tone deaf, or misaligned with the brand's character, the joke becomes a liability. The golden rule is simple: make the product the punchline. When humor reinforces the brand, it creates cultural moments that last. When it doesn't, it fades into forgettable entertainment. Hi, I'm Akanksha, and this is The Storyteller's Lens. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe and tell me in the comments, what's the funniest ad you have ever seen? And did you actually remember the brand? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.